man, what do you guys think about the suspension on
Al-Shaair?
Yeah.
Al-Shaair, excuse me.
But,
and Rick, he said earlier, Rig was there. Rig was at the game. He was like pretty much front and center with that scuffle.
Right. So I want to know how you guys feel about it. Was it a late hit? Was it pulled? Could he come off? Did it seem innocent? I want to know y'all's take, and I'm going to give y'all mine on that whole situation. It messed him up good. It did mess up our boy here, boy wonder, Trevor Lawrence, where to the point where he had to come off the field, and now they're possibly discussing punishment for that play.
I'll run the clip for anybody that hasn't seen it, just in case. I mean, I'm sure everybody has, but we'll run the clip just so y'all can see. That way, y'all can drop your comments and let us know how you feel while we're talking. I'll run that real quick.
Represents so many special people.
No, there's no doubt that Trevor represents them well. And oh my, that'll be Al-Shaair, who's flagged for the big hit on the slide, and that's going to start a little bit of a scrum afterwards as the Jaguars come in to protect their QB. Oh my goodness.
This deserves an ejection.
It's in real time. It's always so hard to tell with those plays, and it's always a dangerous game when the quarterback leaves the pocket. But at the same time, man, I feel like there's something you can do to pull that. You know what I mean?
Did you guys see the red take on Rex Ryan on the show that he's on, the coach? It was some wild diabolical take, man. As a defender, it's hard to pull off already in the defensive tackling motion.
That's a good take by Rick. Hold on.
But he didn't leave with his helmet.
My honest opinion, it was a hard
hit, but as a linebacker, your job is just the runner once the quarterback takes off. Okay. All right. Well, here's my thing, and I don't have the video. I didn't send it to E, and I found it literally as we were watching this episode. This man is a dirty player. And this is coming from a defensive coach. This is coming from a coach. I love physicalness. Absolutely. Inside the lines, whistle to whistle, love it. Plant that flag. But this man has a notorious issue with just doing too much. The Chicago Bears game. Homeboy runs out of bounds, gets hit outside of out of bounds, stands up and punches a player in the face. That was this season, ladies and gentlemen. That's not the only time he's done something where it was borderline, where you're just sitting there scratching your head. And 3 games, I don't feel, is nearly enough. I think he should probably be done for the season. The dude has just done dirty stuff. I can probably say, because as my dad, growing up with my father, as a Bears fan, I had to endure Ndamukong Suh, and that was a dirty motherfucker. Okay, anytime that man had a chance, he would step on you getting up. There was also the other play where I believe they were playing the Texans. No, I'm saying they are the Texans. When they were playing the Titans, and what's his name was running out of bounds. And then he was clearly out of bounds. No. Not even that he was, he had just stepped out of bounds. No, he had passed that huge, thick old white line that is what they use for the out of bounds marker, and then gets clobbered out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of that, man. I don't see a point in playing like that in order to win a game. Then you come over here and now you do this to Trevor Lawrence. And I get it. He didn't lead with his helmet, but he led with his forearm and got underneath his helmet and ripped it off. I'm not a fan of that, man. You want to win a game, You win a game. If you want to be physical, hit the hell out of them. Absolutely. But if the quarterback is giving up, you let it go.
Did you see where the GM tried to say that the guy wasn't dirty? He's been a stand-up guy all season. Like the Houston Texans GM. You didn't see that? Let me see. Oh, you know how my internet is. I'll see if I can play it. Just a little bit of it.
While you're pulling that up, you noticed that Trevor was throwing up gang signs? He was kind of like almost a mini Tua. He was throwing up gang signs.
Oh, here he goes, bro.
Now you got to stop using that as it's not good.
I know, but like
it was bad, man. Like he was seriously concussed. I mean,
it was bad
in the play against Oh, brother, I can't wait to hear this.
Look at the side-eyed guy.
If it does any kind of lagging, let me know. I'll just cut it off. But see what
this guy's lazy eye.
As it pertains to Azeez, I'm sure I'll get a question, so just try to get ahead of that here a little bit. So a couple things. I know D'Amico talked about it after the game yesterday. CJ had some comments right after the game as well, and Azeez put something out there. I think the most important thing is just the health and well-being of Trevor. Fortunately, he's going to be okay. So it's an unfortunate playing situation. I think one of the biggest issues that we sort of take umbrage with, I would say, as a team and organizationally, is a picture that's been painted of Azeez. Quite frankly, it's unfair. And I'd say one of the biggest issues that, and I probably speak for a lot of teams, not only the Houston Texans,
your boy swung on
teams ask for is consistency from the league. And I'd say in this situation, I mean, quite frankly, there's no consistency at all relative to the level of discipline that's been handed down. So when you go back, let's look at this season. Okay, we had multiple situations, multiple examples. All right, two really good players, I would say. Branch ejected against Green Bay, right? Plays the next week against us. Okay, Derwin ejected, all right, got suspended for one game. And Derwin's a great player. Derwin's had some other situations that have come up. And I'd say even going back here, a player that we know well organizationally here, Kareem Jackson. Kareem's a good player. Was ejected, fined, ejected, and then suspended after 3 games. So we're going to say Azeez Al-Shaair, who nobody embodies our program more than Azeez. What he's about, what he's been through.
That's terrible.
You all know his story.
Thank you.
There's not a more selfless individual, more about the team who's earned the respects that represents everything that we want this program to be about. I mean, this morning he was at a United Way event. So we're talking about some of the commentary that has been made about his character, about the person that he is, about what his intentions are from people that, quite frankly, don't know anything about Azeez Al-Shaair. Okay. And for the league to make some of the commentary that they made about lack of sportsmanship, lack of coachability, lack of paying attention to the rules, quite frankly, it's embarrassing. So I think the big thing from and talking about a player who's never been suspended, never been ejected. So now we're saying that he's going to be suspended for 3 games. So look, it is what it is. I think the big thing from our standpoint,
2 times
and all
prior.
teams want is just some level of consistency.
You got away with murder 2 times prior, you fucking jackass. You hit
Darts.
I'm sorry if you that's a hot take, bro. You hit Caleb Williams when he's way out of bounds. Then people get around you and you stand up. Nobody's like in your face like that. Obviously, people are just mad that you're doing it. And you get up and you full extension. You hit the helmet, spin it around the whole 9 yards. Got away with it. You do the play against the Titans. Hit them way out of bounds again. Way out of bounds. Got away with it. How many times are we just going to look away?
Hey, but his he's not unsportsmanlike. He has, he follows the rules.
So
this man literally said that the fact that they did all this shit.
So it's just bad. It's just bad, man. It's terrible. Like you can sit here and you can try and defend. You can try and defend him. I mean, I have the clip playing, and hold on. Let me see if I can get it on my camera. This is right before. Watch. Everybody's just around him because he had hit their quarterback. Look.
Total punch.
Weird. Running out of bounds. Boom. You just can't, man. I get it, man. I get you, the diehard fans. You're going to want to defend it. The dumbass GM, he's going to want to defend it. But I'm not co-signing that. Not happening. So that's just my take on it, man.
It's a dirty dog.
Not a fan. I don't like dirty players. I didn't like Dominican Sue. I'm a defensive guy, man, and I didn't like Dominican Sue. I didn't like the way he played, man. I didn't like the fact that when he would tackle somebody, would take somebody down, or somebody would block him, he would stand up and step on their balls. That's what he did. So many clips of him doing that, stepping on hands, stepping on things on purpose. You would see him pick his foot up and not a fan. Don't like that. We win the game because we win the game. We win the game because we're playing it fair and square, man. Not I got to do this extracurricular shit to make it, to get my frustrations out or whatever your problem is.
Absolutely.
Now, I did find a clip about Tom Brady talking about this. Interesting. The take that when I saw it, I figured he was going to be all for the quarterback defending, but he actually had a different take on this.
The only aspect that I think is very challenging, and certainly for Trevor Lawrence, nobody wants to see anybody get hurt, but it is also the reality of a very physical sport that we play. Defensive players have to be aggressive. That's their nature. I always try to be aggressive on offense. We try to block aggressively, and at the same time, the defense tries to tackle aggressively. So there's more designed runs for quarterbacks ever now than in the history of the NFL. So are we really trying to protect quarterbacks? Because if you are trying to do it through the rules, then why are the offensive coordinators not protecting their quarterbacks by keeping them in the pocket and not designing as many quarterback runs? So, maybe they fine or penalize a quarterback for sliding late, and say, look, if we don't want these hits to take place, we've got to penalize the offense and the defense rather than just penalize a defensive player for every single play that happens when there's a hit on a quarterback.
I was mind blown.
What is this guy talking about? Are you kidding me?
Blown.
The number one crier if somebody looked at him wrong.
That's my point. That's when I saw him pop up and I saw Trevor's picture, I was like, he's about to have a field day with all the shit he used to do. This man went completely left field with it.
I get it, man. I get it. When the quarterback's running up the field, I get it. Da. But this guy is running out of bounds. Trevor Lawrence, he was running up the field. He went into a clear slide. Okay. Now, if my quarterback is running the ball and he's not going for a slide, he's not going for a dive, yeah, you better hit the hell out of him. I'm not crying about that. That happened to, I believe, my boy. Got hit out of bounds, kind of bent him sideways. I'm not mad about it. You were running the ball. But when you're clearly out of bounds or you're clearly on a slide, we're talking about two different things, Tom Brady. We're talking about two different things, Tom Brady. Don't sit here and try and say, oh, they should be penalized and so should we. Dude, just imagine. In any realm of possibility, that would happen in Tom Brady's era. He would lose his nut.
Like, why am I being fined for this? I was just, come on. Like I said, when he started talking, I was like, I have to save this clip because I did not expect that answer at all. That's crazy.